Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 2. I'm Nuraini A. Aharaji, and I will be the first reporter that will talk about what is the importance of biodiversity. Now, what is biodiversity? Biodiversity is the term that represents the total variety of all life on Earth. That's the big thing to sum up. Thousands of different world habitats, millions of different species, billions of different individuals, and the trillions of different characteristics they all have. The total biodiversity of our planet is immense, which is a good thing, because the more biodiversity, the more secure all life on Earth is, including ourselves. Biodiversity is built out of three intertwined features: ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. The more intertwining there is between these features, the denser and more resilient the way it becomes. Genetic biodiversity refers to the variations among organisms of the same species. These variations are usually passed down from parents to offspring, while species diversity refers to the variety of species within a particular region. It is influenced by the environmental conditions in the region. And also, ecological diversity refers to the network of different species in an ecosystem and the interaction of these species. Since humans can source from nature biological resources such as food, medicine, energy, and more, society can benefit greatly from the richness of biodiversity.
Now, let us proceed to health and medicine. Since 2600 BC, people have been using plants to treat illnesses, hence the practice of herbal medicine. Examples are Cupressus sempervirens or cypress and Commiphora myrrha or myrrh. The said herbal medicines, serves for instance, have been used to treat coughs, colds, and inflammation since the ancient times. Herbal medicines were also used in healing rituals and in the treatment of injuries resulting from wars or accidents. Various plant-based drugs were used in ancient Egypt as well as in ancient China. Plant-based drugs such as gargles, pills, infusions, and ointments. Beginning 100 BC to 300 BC, the Greeks recorded the collection, storage, and use of medicinal herbs. During the Dark and Middle Ages, monasteries in England, Ireland, France, and Germany preserved the Western knowledge of treating illnesses using herbal medicine. As such, the use of herbal medicine in ancient civilization was dependent on the biodiversity present in their respective environments. For example, Salvia apiana, or also known as the California sage, was an herbal plant. It is used by the Indian tribes of Southern California to aid in childbirth and was believed to protect the immune system from respiratory ailments. Another example is Alhaji maurorum, also known as the camel thorn, secretes a sweet and gummy from its stems and leaves called manna during hot days. Manna from the camel thorn contains melezitose and sucrose, an invert sugar. It is believed to have diuretic, diaphoretic, laxative, expectorant, gastroprotective, antiseptic, and anti-diarrheal properties. It is believed to treat hysterical and uterine disorders. Its seeds are used to relieve flatulence and to stimulate the senses. Another herbal plant, named as the Ligusticum scoticum, also known as the Scottish lovage, use the roots of the plant to treat diarrhea. The Konkani people smoked the plant to treat asthma, and the Romans used the plant to treat nasal polyps.
Good day everyone, I am Armida A. Ibrahim, the reporter for today, and I'm going to continue the reporting about health and medicine. Health is therefore one of the most important indicators of sustainable development. We must say that biodiversity is the foundation for human health. As we secure life-sustaining goods and service, which we refer to biodiversity, and with sustaining it can provide significant benefits to our health. As we refer to biodiversity that provides significant benefits to our health, then let us now talk about healthy society. Healthy society is not just about preventing injuries, reducing death came from disease, but rather than it is all access to the usage of environment we have. Meaning, healthy society promotes health in many other ways, such as through sanitation, pollution control, food, and drug safety. Now, I'm going to discuss about the question, is biodiversity provides important resources for traditional and modern medicine? The answer is yes. Biodiversity loss can impact on community traditions and livelihoods centered on traditional medical practices. Modern medicine products in the market today are derived from natural resources or natural substance from plants and wild species. That's why biodiversity provides important resources for traditional and modern medicine. The transmission of disease due to movement of organism amplified the need to study the environment in relation to human health. Just like salicylic acid, the active ingredient of the anti-inflammatory drug aspirin, for example, is derived from the bark of a willow tree. Another one is morphine, known for painkillers, and also digitoxin for heart failure. As time went by, information regarding different diseases and how to treat them has been extensively documented to come up with more effective ways to treating them. In 1994, an oral formulation for pilocarpine was used and approved for the treatment of dry mouth or xerostomia. So another information for this, fungi and microorganisms found in trees, grasses, algae, and even herbaceous plants and living in the intercellular spaces of plant stems, root, and leaves had been widely used in the production of many important medicinal products today.
One of the values of biodiversity is to be a source of food. Food is a basic need for humans to survive for every day in this world and to maintain life growth. During the Stone Age, humans relied only on hunting and forageing to get food. They depended on what the ecosystem could readily provide them. They tend to hunt whatever animals they could find. They had to catch or find everything they ate. They moved from place to place in search for food using their sharpened sticks. They can also find such berries, leaves that can be gathered for food, nuts, seeds, and eggs. They are very rich in food in that Stone Age. But as the Earth's population grew, the demand for food increased. Foods are always out of stock and people start to struggle to find foods to eat every day. Crops that can be grown were discovered and cultivated and animals were domesticated. Throughout history, agriculture and cultivation evolved from picking desirable crops and breeding animals to maintaining stable supply of food to last for long periods of time, as preparation for the changing seasons and the possibility of natural disasters. Ways to cultivate desired species of crops and animals suitable for consumption also evolved throughout time. The increasing demand for food as the world population grew also resulted in the development of more lands for agriculture.
Farmers and fishermen rely on healthy ecosystem for their livelihood. Through the common use of land and water resources, they could produce a good crops or healthy animals that we can eat in order for them to make a living. The benefits of biodiversity are necessary for the growth of many important crops. About 39 of the leading 57 global crops are needed birds and insects as pollinators. Pollinators are vital to creating and maintaining the habitats and ecosystem, and many animals rely on for food and shelters. Agrobiodiversity is the result of careful selection of innovative development by farmers, fishers, and herders throughout the years. Agrobiodiversity is the part of the diversity that has to do with agriculture and therefore with the production of food and natural resources that directly provided food or raw materials.
Good day everyone, I am Divya Jane Bantulina Colombras and my subtopic for today's discussion is all about energy. And now, let's talk about what is the relationship of energy to the biodiversity and a healthy society. Humans rely on energy provided by ecosystem to do the necessary activities in order to survive. In the Stone Age, heat energy from fire was used mainly for survival against harsh cold environments, for cooking, and for communication with nearby tribes in the form of smoke. In 1000 BC, coal as a source of energy was used by people in northeastern China for heating and cooking, and eventually became popular in other civilizations, such as the Romans and northern Native Americans. In 400 BC, water energy or hydropower was used by the ancient Greeks and Romans for irrigation. In 347 AD, the earliest known oil wells were developed in China. They made use of extensive bamboo pipelines with depths of 800 feet for lighting and heating. In 500 to 900 AD, the Persians started to use wind-powered grain mills and water pumps. By 300, windmills taking the modern pinwheel shape, and also developed in Western Europe. And in 1390, the Dutch built larger windmills for draining lakes and marshes in the Rhine River Delta. Wind energy was also used to navigate through bodies of water. During the 1700s to 1800s, at the time of the Industrial Revolution, biomass as a primary source of energy was replaced with coal, and the British discovered that by burning coal is transformed into hot-burning coke, a fuel with a high carbon content and few impurities. With this, the use of coal became widespread all over the world. In 1820s, natural gas was used as a source of light, although the lack of pipeline infrastructure made its distribution challenging. In 1830s, the electric generator was developed based on Michael Faraday's discovery of electromagnetism. In 1850s, commercial oil was drilled, which led to the distillation of kerosene from petroleum. In 1860s, Agustin Mochat developed the first solar-powered system for industrial machinery. In 1892, geothermal energy was first used. In 1942, the first nuclear fission reactor was designed and built. In the 19th century and 20th century, the utilization of coal energy shaped the industrialization in the United States, United Kingdom, and other European countries.
From the development of the use of energy sources throughout history, it can be seen that there was no direct nor indirect exhaustion of biodiversity in the utilization of energy resources. However, as early as 1973, the effects on the environment and the risk of potential accidents when using energy alarmed many environmental organizations. In 1979, a nuclear reactor accident at 3 Mile Island near Middletown, Pennsylvania happened. At the end of 1980, the biggest oil spill in the U.S. waters, the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska, occurred. In 2000, a number of catastrophic events transpired: the coal ash spill in Tennessee, oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and Fukushima nuclear crisis in Japan, Bataglia 2013. A study conducted by John Chepedkar and Kai Secker 2015 reported the repercussions of society's demand for clean and abundant energy on biodiversity and human well-being. The demands for energy created a positive impact on unconventional ways of producing energy, but in turn have resulted in adverse effects on biodiversity in terms of wildlife mortality, habitat loss, fragmentation, noise, light pollution, invasive species, and changes in carbon stock and water resources.
Earliest civilizations lived near rivers and lakes that their livelihood depended on water. Wells were used in Middle East as the increasing demand for drinkable water arises. Floodways were used to prevent flooding that may result in the destruction of crops. Aqueducts were built to maintain stable supplies to communities that were far from bodies of water. Forests provide natural filtration and storage systems to provide fresh water. Roots and leaves promotes infiltration of groundwater. While flooding is mostly known for its disastrous effects, it also has some benefits. For example, floods can add nutrients to rivers and lakes, thus crops. Although these benefits are not often achieved because most of the time, flooding causes damage than it can implant benefit.
Air and water treatment. Some of the gases considered as pollutants in moderate amounts contribute to a healthy ecosystem and balanced biodiversity. Nitrogen reduces the occurrence of plant species adapted to low nitrogen environment. Nitrogen reduces the resilience of forests to other environmental stresses such as drought, frost, pests, and diseases. The concentration limit of nitrate in drinking water is too high to protect natural ecosystems, particularly the plant species. The effects of excessive nitrogen in the environment may not be felt at once. It may take decades, but this will definitely weaken the resilience of soil and plants. Aeration brings water and air in close contact in order to remove dissolved gases, such as carbon dioxide, and oxides dissolve metals such as iron, hydrogen, sulfide, and volatile organic chemicals. Aeration is often the first major process at the treatment plant. Increased ground level ozone also causes damage to cell membranes on plants, inhibiting key processes required for their growth and development. The loss of plant cover affects us all. Trees and other vegetation absorb pollutants such as excessive nitrogen dioxide, ozone, and particulate matter through their leaves and needles, and thereby help to improve air quality. Less plant cover, this means less filtering capacity to clean our air.
Now, that would be all for this topic that is all about biodiversity. Again, we are the Group 2 and we are hoping that you gain a lot of learnings in our report. Thank you so much.